I chose to interview my sister. The reason why is because even though we're 1 year apart, growing up we were very different. And as we got older, I realized that we have changed tremendously. And somehow we still hold a lot of the same thoughts on how we view the world. Name one of your favorite TV shows growing up, and why was that your favorite?
Friends, the New Yorker that we all are, and who I kind of wanted to be. It's what reality, at least for New Yorkers, I don't know around the world, but how New Yorkers are, and what their life consists of, and it was just reality into a funny show. So, my neighborhood, it wasn't bad. It was just, it affected me in the sense that you would say poor. Everybody always had the latest things out. In my neighborhood, we come from a neighborhood where kids really, parents work double jobs. So it made me want to do better.
Do you feel like boys and girls should be treated differently? Like, should they be treated differently at all growing up?
No, no. I think I knew this from my upbringing. I feel like, and I told myself the day I'd have a daughter or a son, that I will raise them the same. Because if my daughter can cook, clean, and work, so can my son. It's about shaping the human being and helping them help themselves and like fend for themselves against anything out there.
Boys and girls, now that you say that, they frequently choose different toys to play with. Girls often have dolls and boys often have toy guns, etc. Is that because they prefer, you think, those toys?
No, again, I think it goes back to beliefs, family beliefs, culture. Children are born and are raised not knowing better. So we kind of take these human beings, tiny as they are, and we shape them into something. So no, I feel like society and the media and people just make these toys gender based. Another silly thing I feel that society does, because everything in society, it inflicts on these kids, on the parents. I feel like it comes back from way back when where our parents grew up, and how it was manipulated, and it still is inflicted in today. And I don't see it changing. Maybe gradually. Kid, because they're so innocent, they don't know. A toy to me was a toy. I feel like you give a kid anything and they play with anything. Me, myself, I wasn't as, girly. I played with cars. I played with rubber snakes and animals. And they used to call me, when I was a little boy.
I started at this point to realize this theme of social constructs and ideologies which have shaped us in a way. I realized that in our home, especially where we were exposed to, is completely different than how we view the world today. You ever felt like you had to conform eventually to what society dictates a lady should act like?
Yes and no. I looked up to certain people, but I don't idolize any. I never grew up idolizing anybody. I feel like the older I got, the more I got in touch with myself and femininity.
Okay, so I mean, do you consider that you should teach girls to be ladylike, and in contrast, teach boys to man up? Is that something you think that is gender based? My curiosity prompted me to ask this question because growing up, my sister was, I guess, a tomboy, you would say. And for me, I was a girly girl. And now that in our adult lives, I feel like she's more of a feminine person than I am.
I mean, ladylike depends. What is ladylike to you? When I say ladylike in my world and in my thoughts as a one person, I can only speak for me. It's actually, hey, crossing your legs, have some manners and respect within yourself and your body. That's not to say that it doesn't apply to guys as well. Like spitting on the floor. I don't think outside, or I don't know. It looks gross on men too. I don't like it. It's just I just feel like it's gross. But for some reason, it's just, oh, he's just being a guy. And when a girl does it, it's like, wow, that is so unladylike. I actually grew up with teachers telling me, oh, don't do that. Or don't write down your hand like a tattoo. That's not ladylike. I grew up in a really not so good home. I could say a broken home. I only have mom. Mom had to be dad and mom. I always said that I wanted, and I will always want for somebody to be for my child who my dad, I could never pick somebody like my father. So the person who I was going to build with has to be nothing like my father.
My mother raised 3 girls and then had a boy, and his upbringing was completely different than ours. So it was important for me to ask to see what she picked up from it and in her experience, and to understand how she viewed parenting.
And I think I've always known if I was in in another life born a male, I think I know what type of male I would want to
You would
be,
choose to be.
because that's how I'm raising my son, and I don't think that mentality changes. Men and women are very wildly different. It has a lot to do with their upbringing, with their home, with their surroundings, with their friends, how they view their jobs, how they view love, how they view, success. It's just how they view themselves. You ask, it depends who you're dealing with. So I guess that's my answer.
Thank you. Answering all my questions.
No problem. Bye.